Today it seems like everybody's trying to find the fastest, easiest way to get rich. They're looking for a plan, a formula, maybe a 99-cent course you can buy, but they all want somebody to show them how to do it. And so today I'm going to do just that. I'm going to show you what you need to do if you want to get rich, if you want to make it, if you want to be successful.
Shut up and sit down.
You know, when you're thinking of a formula or a plan or a way to make it in the world, to get rich fast, it makes you think of science, of when you were in science class, when you did experiments. You know, in science class, they gave you a formula to find the answer. If you wanted to know how something worked, you did an experiment to figure it out. But the truth is, you knew how that experiment was going to end up in the end. But in the real life, it's not so clean. There's not a formula. There's not a straight path. When scientists are doing experiments, they have no clue what they're doing. They're just wandering around in the dark and they're throwing stuff at the wall, trying to see what's going to stick. And they're just trying to figure it out. Sometimes they might blow up the lab, or they might cure cancer or develop some new life-saving drug. A good example of this is Sir Alexander Fleming. That name might sound kind of familiar. He was a guy that was looking for a wonder drug, something to save mankind and cure diseases all over the world. He'd been working on several different formulas and variations of a drug that he was going to, change the world with. And he had one that he'd been working on for a while. And he finally just decided this thing isn't going to work. It's not doing anything. And he chucked it in the trash can. A couple days went by. He was working on a new formula and his stomach was growling. And he was like, man, I'm hungry. He's like, I think I threw away an old Big Mac a couple days ago. So he went rooting around in the trash. And he saw that old Petri dish from a few days earlier that he'd been working on. And he noticed that the mold was dissolving all of the bacteria around it. And he started looking at it and he thought, very curious. And then he threw it away again and he ate his Big Mac. I'm just kidding. They didn't even have Big Macs at this time. But what he realized was that he had invented some sort of antibacterial microorganism, which later became known as penicillin, which saved millions and millions of lives. So if he wouldn't have gave up on it and threw it in the trash, he probably wouldn't have noticed that the mold killed bacteria. Bacterium? Bacterii? I'm not a scientist. That story reminds me of another dude named John Hopkins. This fella was an electrical engineer and he was doing experiments on hypothermia and how to raise the body's core temperature through radio frequencies. And through his experiments, he discovered that hitting the like button could save humanity. Just kidding, but do that anyways. But he discovered that there was a way to restart the heart if it had stopped through artificial stimulation. And then this research went on to develop the pacemaker, another invention invented by mistake that saved millions and millions of lives. Okay, interwebs, I hear you. You're saying, but Jeff, what does this have to do with getting rich or making it or getting rich without trying? And what does that have to do with your t-shirt that you're wearing? Ah, young grasshoppers, I'm going to wrap it all together for you right now. You see, these two guys were looking for a game changer, something to change the world. Maybe they were looking to get rich. Maybe they were looking to just get famous, because we all know that scientists and electrical engineers are a little bit nerdy. Shout out to my nerds out there. Woo woo. You see, the point is, when you start out on the journey to start a new business, to get rich, to retire early, to be in the FIRE movement, to just become successful in life, it's not a formula of X plus Y equals Z. It's not a straight path to get you there. And wherever you start is not probably where you're going to end up. At the end of the video, I'll give you one more cool example of something that really changed the world that will just blow your mind. That was a total accident. But first, let me tell you about my journey and the twists and turns that my path took and how I ended up where I am today, which is on a Caribbean island. It wasn't easy getting here, and I didn't get here how I planned. There wasn't a formula. You see, I knew right away that I didn't think I could come up with one giant idea that would change the world and make me rich and famous. I thought instead it might be easier if I came up with 10 little ideas, and if each of those 10 little ideas could be successful, then I could just kind of slowly work my way up to having a lot of money. And I knew that 50% of businesses failed, so I thought, well, I only need to start 20 businesses, and then if 10 of them are successful, and I say I make $1,000 off of each business, I'll be making 100 grand just running 10 little small businesses. The problem with that idea was I still needed a job. I was 20. I needed to make money and pay the bills and come up with startup capital. So I got a job, and then I got another job, and then I became a mortgage broker, and then I started a mortgage business, and I quickly learned that running a mortgage business did not afford me the time to start 19 more businesses. So being in the real estate space, I dodged, I weaved, I adapted, and I thought, hey, what if I bought 10 rental properties and each one of those rental properties made me $1,000 a month? And then I could retire, I could quit or sell my mortgage business, and I could just live off the income from my rental properties. I adapted and I looked at new opportunities. So you know what Sir Alexander Fleming, John Hopkins, and myself all had in common? We were tenacious. We had a goal. We knew where we wanted to go. We worked hard. We were able to have failures along the way. We were able to look at our failures and learn from them. And maybe the failure that you put in the trash can, maybe you go back and you look at that and you think, what could I learn from something that I've already done that maybe didn't work out? And you look at the little things that did work out and you build on those successes. And you know, we had a general idea and a general goal of what we wanted, but we didn't have the formula. Nobody provided us the formula of how to get there. We just knew that there was a way, there must be a way to get there. And we just started working towards the goal. And through that work, you find new questions, and those new questions provide new answers, and those new answers can provide you with the result that you were looking for. Maybe it's not the exact result you were looking for, but it's in that same realm of what you were trying to accomplish. Whew, wow, this is pretty powerful stuff, right? Like, if you're out there working, you're going to find the answers. If you're not, if you're just reading and studying all the time, you're not going to get them. Which brings me to this t-shirt. You see, I think that the reason I don't sell courses is because I can't teach you how to be rich. I can show you how I did it. I can show you how I became wealthy. I don't really think I'm rich. I think there's a difference. I can show you what I did through buying real estate and stuff, but it's not, I don't want to sell you a course on a formula on how to do it, because the truth is we learn the most from the mistakes that we make, from the successes that we have, from out there, from just being out there and trying and doing and learning and adapting and being our own guru. We teach ourselves how to, you're going to end up being successful if you keep going at it, but you're going to learn from yourself. You can look at some things that I've done or some other people have done and you can build off of those things, but you've got to find your own path. And even though I don't sell courses because I think it's maybe a little schmarmy, or most of the people selling courses haven't actually done the things of the courses that they're selling. Like, I've already done it. I've built up an empire of real estate and I live off my real estate income, and I moved to a Caribbean island. But I don't think that's the right way for you to learn how to do it. You can watch these videos for free. What I do sell, you can buy this t-shirt if you want a little bit of motivation. You want to look in the mirror and be reminded who your actual guru is. It's you right there, you. So I may be starting a Patreon soon too. So there may be a link down there if you want to really support the channel and help me grow this so that I can make more content like this. But I did also promise you one more story about something that changed the world. And this guy changed the world and made a lot of money doing it all by accident. You see, John McVicker worked for a company that made sort of this gooey substance that was made for cleaning wallpaper. And his sister-in-law was a teacher, and she was at his house and they were having dinner, and she was like, what is this crap that you sell? And he's like, oh, you clean wallpaper with it. And she started playing with it. And she's like, this stuff is weird. She put it in her bag. She went to work the next day. She put it on her desk, and the kids in her classroom started playing with it, and they went bonkers. They love this stuff. And so she told John, she's like, man, the kids in my class went bonkers when they started playing with that wacky wallpaper stuff that you've got. So he started thinking, what could I do with this? He added a little bit of almond scent to it, put some coloring in it, made bright colors, and he rebranded it and started a business called Rainbow Crafts. A few years later, he sold Rainbow Crafts to General Mills in 1964 for $3 million, and General Mills rebranded it as Play-Doh. That's right. Play-Doh used to just be a non-toxic thing that cleaned wallpaper and got put into the hands of children who loved it, and the dude made $3,1964, mind you, when he sold his company. So, the moral of the story, be open to learning, be your own guru, do the work, and be prepared to be successful. You can do it. Thanks for watching.